Hello and welcome to my game Myslite. First I'm going to go through the gameplay and we're going to look at how it matches the specification. So what I've written here is my target audience is young teenagers who have general interest in fantasy PC games. I believe my game hosts a number of features and unique aspects that young teens will find interesting. So what I mean by this is obviously you can see when I play my game. It loads in to the game. It gives you see the health at the top, you can see instructions above your head as you start. Obviously from the art style you can see that it's going to be a fantasy game. Now when I pick this all up.
Ah, two. It's good to see you. I see you found my latest paperweight. Could you be a dear and get the other?
Obviously you can see my game has objectives, so it's I go on to talk about features of my game. So I made it in Construct 2. This engine's well suited for making 2D platform games, and it's based on one of our Myslite storylines, as it is called Myslite. It's got educational puzzle aspects, which I'll show you in a second, and these can vary from physics to English and other subjects. It also has hack/slash aspects, as you've seen, as I just demonstrated. Got the female character with the sword and the male character with the gun. And yeah. So obviously also, yes, of course, uniqueness, the fact that the player realises they're trying to survive whilst learning important life facts on the way, makes the game unique. Learning and having fun whilst doing so is my game's aim. So obviously I can go on to show you the game a bit further as I progress on.
Good. Now then, this is the first test. Upon dropping both orbs, which will hit the ground first? Let's call the larger ball A and the smaller B.
Now as you can see, the game has given me a problem to solve, and I've got three options on where three dummies to hit and give the answer. So obviously I know the right answer is that both A and B should fall at the same rate, because it's basic physics.
Well done, two. I'm quite surprised you could do that after just being born. Let's see what else you can do.
And now I've solved the puzzle, I'm going to get something else to contend with, in this case an enemy. So I just switched to the main character and shoot it from a distance. Let's see. And I switched to the female character, deal more damage. But of course I got too close. So yeah. Let's I'll just skip ahead and try that again. Actually, I might as well show you now the if you get the wrong answer, it's this.
Interesting. Although your answer is wrong, many very young people would probably have given the same answer. Let's see what else you can do.
And obviously, yeah. Just start changing it. And just did. So I have to do again. Yeah. So apart from that, I can go on to talk about my game's platform. So it's going to be released on the PC platform, as well as consoles in the future. It's because the PC platform has the widest user base, along with the fact that people generally go to the PC to learn something, whereas they blindly go to consoles without taking much in. I really wanted my game to focus both on enjoyment and learning, so I went with both, and the PC platform. Alright, now I'm going to go look at my code for you. So obviously you can see all the global variables at the top. all controlling different things, and it's auto-saving. Right, that's done auto-saving. I'm going to show you the game's code. So Construct 2 has very simple code. I can just go through and tell you all the parts of it. So, for instance, different things are pressed, such as at the start, you've got the instructions here, and they'll disappear when any key on the keyboard is pressed. So your character is frozen at the start, and then when you actually want to start the game, you just tap any button, the game will start. It's very simple way to start. Obviously you've got the phase switch control, which switches between male and female once space is pressed, as you can see here. So I've got player controls. So got two different sections, the male and female characters both have separate controls because it's going to go with the animations with them. So yeah, you've got, obviously when X is pressed, you pick up wherever object is visible, and when C is pressed on the male, he shoots a bullet, as you can see here. That's obviously got the basic controls. Also when C isn't pressed, you just got to make sure it's all controlled. Let's go to the female controls. Basically the same, except from the female attack is in the weapon controls. So also got the holding variables. These make sure that the ball is in the same place as the character is, so you can see the player's holding the ball at the time. Go to enemy controls. I've got a little. Had to have a little bit of AI going on here, which took quite a while. So you've got the line of sight commands, which means that if the enemy gets close to the player, it will speed up, and on collision with the player, it'll subtract 1 from the player's health. So once the enemy gets close enough, it'll attack the player, and the player will lose health. So yeah. Also another thing, when the enemy hits either side of the map, it'll turn around and walk the other way. So it's basic AI, but it works well. It gives a good effect that the enemy is a mindless beast. So got some description here on the movement, and obviously these two spawning variables. Had to separate them because you have to make the enemy spawn and then get him to move, not all in one. Because the cutscene controls, this is the main struggle of my game, as you can see. So there's 3 cutscenes, although the third you could say is 2 different cutscenes because of the 2 different sounds that are played. So the first one, obviously you can see that the cutscene, what happens when the cutscene is triggered is that the focus of the game is switched to the monitor, to the character, and then sound plays, and then when 8 seconds is finished, it goes to the end of the cutscene, it scrolls back to the player and sets the monitor animation to idle. And then the same happens in the second cutscene and in the third cutscene. In the third cutscene, obviously there's 2 different cutscenes and we'll play different sounds based on whether you've got the right or wrong answer. Yeah. So, go to the weapon controls. This is also the controls for the puzzle, as it'll show you how the weapons interact with the puzzle pieces. So if the bullet hits answer dummy A, obviously the answer will be wrong, and that one will be set invisible, and the second layer the other two will be set invisible. So it just gives you time to see that one's been destroyed, the other two are removed because you've got the answer wrong, and then it'll play the cutscene. It goes on to do that with the other two, although on the sprite 8, which is A and B, you'll set the answer to right. And do that again with the melee attacks. So you can either use the ranged or melee to set off to trigger the cutscene. So also you've got here the enemy health system, as is, so you've got the sprite for health, which is the instance variable for the enemy, and the bullet subtracts the health from the enemy, and obviously the enemy gets knocked back and then gets up and carries on. If the enemy's knocked back on the last time, it dies and is destroyed. Once its health reaches below, its health reaches 0 or below. Yeah, another thing which was pretty good, pretty different to do, because I can't have it so that when the player hits the enemy gets hurt, because that would be a bit counterproductive, as when the enemy hits the player it gets hurt. I had to use an invisible block, as when the female attack animation is playing in front of her. So the invisible block appears when the sword is slashing, so it appears as if the sword is dealing damage. Yeah, so obviously the sword deals damage here to the enemy again. And go on to the health. Obviously you can see I did a heart system for the health, and you see on the screen your heart's in the top left hand corner, and if you get killed you lose thing comes up. So that's just a general run through of my game, and I hope you found it interesting and enjoy playing it in the future. Cheers.